A life without design is like a ship drifting aimlessly at sea, according to Seneca. If we don't set clear rules, hold ourselves to specific standards, or have a set of practices to follow, we risk becoming overwhelmed, distracted, or lost in the chaos of life. It's as though we are winging it, without direction, which often leads to mistakes and regret. But when we have structured guidelines, a framework for our actions, life becomes more manageable, more purposeful, and more fulfilling. The Stoic way of life offers us such a framework, rules that can make all the difference in how we live and respond to the world around us. Today, I want to share 12 Stoic rules that can elevate your life and help you stay grounded, calm, and purposeful no matter the circumstances. One of the foundational Stoic principles is to own the morning. A powerful example comes from Marcus Aurelius's own writings, where he reflects on the difficulty of getting up early in the cold before dawn, knowing full well that his comfort lies in bed. But he challenges himself with the reminder, is this what you were put here to do? To stay warm in bed and avoid your duties? No, of course not. We have responsibilities, potential, and purpose to fulfill each day. The Stoic way is to embrace the morning, not as a burden but as a gift, a fresh start. By rising early, resisting distractions, and focusing on what matters most, whether it's journaling, exercising, or taking deep work seriously, you set the tone for the entire day. Winning the morning means you've already conquered a significant portion of the day. Another Stoic rule for life is to focus on what's in your control. Epictetus famously said that a philosopher's job is to recognize what we can change and what we can't. Our actions, thoughts, and responses to events are within our power, but everything outside of that, from others' behavior to external circumstances, is not. By understanding this dichotomy, we prevent ourselves from wasting energy on things we cannot control. Instead, we pour our focus into the choices we can make, how we react, how we treat others, and how we carry ourselves with integrity. When you start mastering what's up to you, you stop worrying about what's outside of your control and focus on what matters most, your own conduct. One of the greatest sources of anxiety is imagining problems that haven't happened yet. Seneca warned against this when he said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than it is necessary." How often do we worry about things that never come to pass? Our imagination can inflate our fears, making them seem more real than they are. The Stoic response? Acknowledge the possible challenges, but focus on the present moment. Recognize that you don't need to suffer twice, once in your mind and once in reality. When you learn to stay present, you save yourself from unnecessary pain and frustration. A less commonly discussed but deeply transformative Stoic rule is to do one thing every day to enrich your soul. This could be as simple as reading a piece of wisdom, writing a thought-provoking journal entry, or seeking a new perspective. Seneca believed that we should seek to acquire at least one insight each day, something that strengthens us mentally and emotionally against life's challenges. Philosophy, according to him, isn't about one grand revelation, but rather a consistent, daily accumulation of wisdom. Just as a small stone can build a great wall, daily insights slowly construct a better, wiser you. Lastly, related to this is the Stoic rule of doing one good deed every day. Stoicism is not a selfish philosophy. It encourages virtue and justice. The Stoics believed in not only focusing on self-improvement, but also on serving others. Whether it's a kind word, a helping hand, or offering your time to someone in need, small acts of kindness, generosity, and decency can transform both your life and the world around you. Imagine making it a habit to actively contribute something positive to others every day. It's a small but profound way to live a virtuous life. So let these rules guide you, shape your actions, and help you approach life with wisdom, purpose, and a deep sense of gratitude for each new day. As you focus on what's in your control, rise to meet the morning, and stay present, you'll discover a life filled with clarity, peace, and real, meaningful progress. The Stoic virtues, how to live with integrity, discipline, and compassion. One of the core Stoic virtues isn't just something to be talked about, it's something to do. It's a verb, not a noun. It's about actively making the right choices, not just in general terms but specifically in each situation. A Stoic asks, how am I going to treat this person right now? What choice will I make here? How will I respond to this challenge? It's not about getting by or doing the bare minimum. It's about seeking out the good in every moment, the right thing to do in every scenario. As Seneca wisely put it, every person we meet is an opportunity to practice kindness. Think of it this way. The people you encounter aren't just random, they're opportunities to do something good, to be kind, to choose compassion. Each interaction, no matter how small, is a chance to live out the virtues we value. A powerful Stoic principle can be summed up in a question: is this essential? Most of what we think, do, and say isn't truly essential. And the problem is, our lives get cluttered with the inessential. By eliminating these distractions, we free ourselves to focus on what truly matters, becoming better at those few essential things. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it because others are doing it? Is it something I've always done? Or am I doing it because it genuinely matters? If the answer is no, eliminate it. Saying no is a powerful act. It's not just rejecting something, it's affirming your commitment to what truly matters. Every time we say no, we're saying yes to our most important goals, our values, and our peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, understood this well. With countless demands on his time, he had to constantly prioritize, saying no to the trivial so he could focus on the truly essential. If he didn't, the important things would never get done. And the same applies to us. By saying no to the unnecessary, we gain more time for what brings us true peace and fulfillment. Another fascinating Stoic practice involves speaking with the dead. This might sound strange, but it's a brilliant concept. The Stoic philosopher Zeno was once told by an oracle that he would become wise when he started having conversations with the dead. He didn't understand this at first, but years later, while reading a passage from Socrates, he realized what the oracle meant. Through reading, we are able to have conversations with the great minds of history. Philosophy becomes a dialogue with those who lived before us, allowing their wisdom to shape and guide us. This means reading isn't just about consuming information, it's about connecting with the wisdom of the past, the works of Socrates, Seneca, Epictetus, or even modern thinkers who continue this conversation. Every day we should spend some quiet time reading, not news or social media, but texts that challenge us, that engage our minds and hearts in a deeper way. Books are time machines, allowing us to interact with the greatest thinkers across history, drawing on their wisdom to navigate our modern lives. One of the central Stoic teachings is about self-discipline. The Stoics were not necessarily tough on others, they were tough on themselves. They held themselves to the highest standards of virtue and personal excellence, recognizing that this was entirely within their control. But they also understood that they couldn't hold others to the same standards. People make mistakes, they don't always have the same knowledge or advantages. As Marcus Aurelius said, be strict with yourself but tolerant with others. This principle is crucial in our daily interactions. We must set high standards for ourselves, but we must also show patience and understanding toward those who might not yet have the same knowledge or discipline. We can't let other people's failures drag us down, but we also can't judge them harshly. We must maintain our boundaries, but do so with empathy and compassion. This balance is key. When we make mistakes, we often show understanding toward ourselves, recognizing our reasons for what happened. The Stoics encourage us to extend that same compassion to others, coming up with explanations that allow us to empathize with them, rather than write them off. A Stoic rule that often stands out is, make beautiful choices. As Epictetus taught, if you want to lead a beautiful life, you must first make beautiful choices. This idea draws from a teaching by his teacher, Musonius Rufus, who said that pleasure is fleeting. When we seek pleasure for its own sake, the pleasure fades, but the shame of acting solely for our own gratification lingers. On the other hand, when we choose to act with virtue, even if it's hard, that choice endures. Choosing to do the right thing, even when it's difficult, brings a lasting sense of fulfillment, while the pursuit of short-term pleasures only leaves us wanting more. Beautiful choices are not always the easiest, but they are the ones that bring true, lasting beauty to our lives, shaping us into people of integrity and honor. These Stoic teachings invite us to reconsider the way we approach our lives, focusing on what matters most, being disciplined with ourselves, and showing compassion to others. By embracing these principles, we move toward a life of purpose, growth, and meaningful impact. Have you ever noticed that when you push yourself to do something difficult, or when you exercise true self-discipline, the satisfaction lingers far longer than the effort itself? The work may be exhausting, but the pride remains, enduring in a way that the discomfort of struggle does not. When faced with decisions throughout the day, we have a choice. Will we opt for the easy, pleasant path, or will we choose the hard but meaningful one? This very dilemma is at the core of what is known as the choice of Hercules, a pivotal moment in Stoic philosophy. In the myth, Hercules stands at a crossroads, where he must decide between two paths, one leading to virtue and discipline, and the other to vice and indulgence. The easy road is tempting, but it's the difficult road, the path of virtue, that ultimately shapes his greatness. Hercules would never have become the hero he is if he had chosen the easier option. So when you're lying in bed, staring at the snooze button, or when you're faced with the decision to exercise versus lounging on the couch, think about what choice you're making. Are you choosing the easy route, or are you choosing the beautiful one? Are you opting for kindness, or letting unkindness slip through? Are you choosing to forgive and be understanding, or are you allowing anger and bitterness to take hold? Every moment presents an opportunity to make a beautiful choice, and it's these choices that define us. A Stoic principle that supports this mindset is to listen more than you speak. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, pointed out that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. It's a reminder to pause, to listen, and to absorb. In a world where people are constantly talking, there's a quiet power in silence. The wisdom of the Stoics suggests that we should question whether what we're about to say is truly necessary or helpful. It's better to trip with your feet than with your tongue. The discipline of knowing when to be quiet is just as valuable as speaking up. Consider the ancient Spartan who sat silently during a dinner where everyone else was talking. When someone asked why he wasn't speaking, he responded, "If I were stupid, I wouldn't have been able to stay quiet this long." This story illustrates that silence and the wisdom to absorb knowledge are often more powerful than speaking for the sake of filling space. Another key Stoic insight is this: every obstacle is an opportunity. This idea is beautifully encapsulated by Marcus Aurelius, who wrote that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, challenges are not just things to endure, but opportunities to practice virtue, to grow stronger, and to make the right choice, even when it's hard. Life doesn't always offer us clear, straightforward paths to success, but it always gives us a chance to respond with grace, integrity, and wisdom. For instance, if someone hurts you, it's an opportunity to choose forgiveness. If you face discrimination or setbacks, it's a chance to persevere with dignity and to rise above bitterness or resentment. Stoicism teaches that we don't control what happens to us, but we do control how we respond to it. Every challenge, every difficulty can be transformed into fuel for our personal growth, just like how adding wood to a fire makes it burn brighter. The Stoic isn't someone who passively accepts everything that comes their way. Rather, they actively engage with life, turning obstacles into stepping stones toward greater virtue. It's about making beautiful choices even when circumstances are ugly, and using the difficulties we face as opportunities to become the best versions of ourselves. Finally, the most important Stoic rule revolves around living in the present moment, or, as the Stoics call it, memento mori. Time is fleeting, and every moment is a chance to live fully. The Stoics remind us that life is not something that happens in the future or the past, it happens now. We're always dying, every minute that passes is lost to us forever, and that realization should shape how we live. When you wake up, approach the day as though it's a second chance. We don't know how many more chances we'll get, so every moment should be treated as precious. Live with intention, with purpose, and with an awareness that this day could be your last. Don't waste it. Make beautiful choices, be present, and focus on doing what only you are capable of doing. By adopting these principles, you'll find yourself on the path to becoming the person you're truly capable of being. Every day presents a fresh opportunity to rise above and make your life meaningful.